Who do you feel got away scot-free for a serious crime? Who really needs to be held accountable? Vince Lai, aka Will Baker. He brutally attacked a man on a Greyhound bus ride and then cannibalized the body in front of an entire busload of passengers. He randomly attacked a man that was sitting next to him unprovoked, started stabbing him with a knife. Everyone ran off the bus to safety, trapping Vince Lee inside of the Greyhound with the victim. The victim unfortunately died due to his injuries. Vince Lee, the disgusting psychopath, then starts to consume parts of the Tim McLean's body. He starts chopping the victim up and taunting the passengers with body parts, while the other passengers stand outside of the bus waiting for help. Since Vince Lee was strapped in the bus, it takes authorities 4 hours to get Vince Lee into their custody, meaning the passengers had to stand there and watch this horrific scene while they wait for assistance. So many bystanders suffered mental issues simply from witnessing this crime. One woman went on to do drugs to cope with the PTSD and lost her children. I believe one person even committed suicide. This was not a crime against one single victim. The witnesses had severe trauma and suffered their own mental issues due to Vince Lee's actions that night. Not only that, but Vince Lee got 4 hours to abuse the victim's body. It is later confirmed by the victim's family that the victim's eyeballs were consumed. Vince Lee pled not guilty for reason of insanity and only got 6 years in a psychiatric facility. He has now been released to roam the general public. Anyone that commits a crime this horrific needs to do serious time, regardless of mental health. One person's mental health does not trump the safety of the general public. The fact that they allowed schizophrenia to be the cause of such a horrible crime is a huge disregard to people that suffer with mental illness like this. Millions of people live with schizophrenia, both treated and untreated, and they do not commit such heinous crimes. To go off your mental baseline and do something so horrific is a personal offense, and he should have been punished to the fullest extent of the law. If they wanted to consider his mental health, he should spend life in a psychiatric facility. Vince Lee decided not to take his meds, and an innocent person lost their life. Now the victim's family has to live with the fear that this man can roam around and harm others. This is one of the most heinous acts of injustice I have ever heard. This man does not deserve to live a normal life after doing something so horrific. YouTube comments say Vince Lee is working a waitress job and has changed his name a few times to hide his identity. It's so horrific that a normal life, a peaceful existence, is even attainable to someone who committed such heinous acts against another human being, while the victim suffered and the bystanders still suffer the trauma to this day.